To err is human, to forgive, divine. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Forgive others, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Forgiveness is not an occasional act, it is a permanent attitude. When you forgive, you in no way change the past, but you sure do change the future.
Forgiveness liberates the soul. It removes fear. That's why it's such a powerful weapon. True forgiveness is when you can say, "Thank you for that experience." Anger makes you smaller, while forgiveness forces you to grow beyond what you were. Forgive. Not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you. Forgiveness is the key to action and freedom. Let us forgive each other, only then will we live in peace. Without forgiveness, there's no future. Forgiveness does not change the past, but it does enlarge the future. Forgiveness is an act of the will, and the will can function regardless of the temperature of the heart. The practice of forgiveness is our most important contribution to the healing of the world. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before you learned it. Forgiveness is the final form of love. Forgiveness is a virtue of the brave. When a deep injury is done to us, we never heal until we forgive. Forgiveness is the sweetest revenge. Resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Forgive others as quickly as you expect God to forgive you. Forgiveness says you are given another chance to make a new beginning. He that cannot forgive others breaks the bridge over which he must pass himself. Forgiveness is the giving, and so the receiving of life. Forgiveness is not for the weak. It requires immense strength. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, to forgive. Forgive everybody. Forgive all who have offended you, for them. But for yourself, forgiveness is an act of self-love. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It's letting go of the hurt. Forgiveness doesn't excuse their behavior. Forgiveness prevents their behavior from destroying your heart. Forgiveness means letting go of the past. The first step in forgiveness is the willingness to forgive. Forgive yourself for your mistakes. Forgive others for their imperfections. And let go of the past. Forgiveness is the key to inner peace. The act of forgiveness is tough, but rewarding. Forgiveness is a funny thing. It warms the heart and cools the sting. To forgive is the highest, most beautiful form of love. In return, you will receive untold peace and happiness. Forgiveness is the healing of wounds caused by others. When you hold resentment toward another, you are bound to that person or condition by an emotional link that is stronger than steel. Forgiveness is the only way to dissolve that link and get free. To forgive is wisdom, to forget is genius, and easier, because it's true. It's a new world every heartbeat. Forgiveness is not something we do for others. We do it for ourselves to get well and move on. Forgiveness is a reflection of loving yourself enough to move on. Forgiveness is the best form of love in any relationship. You don't forgive for them. You forgive for you. Forgiving someone doesn't mean their behavior was okay. It means you're releasing the anger, hate, and hurt that have imprisoned you. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. Forgiveness is choosing to love. It is the first skill of self-giving love. Life becomes easier when you learn to accept an apology you never got. Forgiveness is not about forgetting. It is about letting go of another person's throat. We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. Forgiveness is the one gift you don't have to give to someone else. You give it to yourself. Forgiveness is not weakness. It takes courage to face and overcome powerful emotions. Forgiving you is my gift to you. Moving on is my gift to myself. To forgive is to reject your own suffering. Forgiveness is the needle that knows how to mend. There is no love without forgiveness, and there is no forgiveness without love. Forgiveness is a gift of high value, yet its cost is nothing. Forgiveness is the final act of love. Without forgiveness, life is governed by an endless cycle of resentment and retaliation. Forgiveness is me giving up my right to hurt you for hurting me. Forgiveness is the key to action and freedom. The act of forgiveness takes more courage than holding onto resentment. In the end, we are all just walking each other home. Forgiveness helps light the way. Forgiveness does not overlook the deed. It rises above it. Forgiveness is the only way to heal. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Forgiveness is not an occasional act. It is a permanent attitude. When you forgive, you in no way change the past, but you sure do change the future. Forgiveness liberates the soul. It removes fear. True forgiveness is when you can say, "Thank you for that experience." Anger makes you smaller, while forgiveness forces you to grow beyond what you were.